සංසාර සාරෝග විනීතනි සම් සන්නීත සාතං සුචිසාරදීසං සන්ධීරකං සොන්න තනුපලාසං සංලාපදේසින් පනමේ විසාසං සමන්තා චක්කවාලේසු අත්‍රා ගච්ඡන්තු දේවතා සද්ධම්මං මුනි රාජස්ස සුනන්තු සග්ග මොක්ඛදං ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දංස නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දංස නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දංස ඒකායනෝ අයං භික්ඛවේ මග්ගෝ සන්තානං විසුද්ධියා සෝක පරින්දවානං සමතික්ඛමාය දුක්ඛ දෝමනස්සානං අධිගමාය ඥා අතික්ඛමාය ඥායස්ස අධිගමාය නිබ්බානස්ස සච්චි කිරියාය යදිදං චන්තාරෝ සතිපට්ඨානාති. Okay, dear Dhamma friends, all of you are warmly welcome. Here we are going to discuss about a very special Buddhist doctrine, that mindfulness. You know, Buddha's all explainings or all advices focus on getting rid of suffering and how we achieve happiness. The main goal in Buddhism is happiness. Buddhism explains how do we lose our happiness. We have lost our happiness because of losing living in the present moment. If we are clever to live in the present moment with full awareness, we can overcome suffering. Suffering or unsatisfactoriness. All Buddhist doctrines focus on how do we overcome unsatisfactoriness and how do we achieve to the real happiness. That is the main goal in Buddhism. Here we discuss about the mindfulness. You know, when we are going to understand Buddha's message, the main thing is that we have a clear idea, clear understanding what Buddha explained. You know, Buddha is a human being and he lived as a human being. He was born in the human world. But after he became enlightenment, he was not an ordinary person. He became an extraordinary situation. Because he could eradicate all kind of defilements, so negative ideas in his mind. And also he developed his mind in the maximum level with loving kindness and wisdom. We respect to the Buddha because he developed his mind in the maximum level. And also, not only he developed his mind, he explained the way how we can develop our mind too. And also, Buddha explained, he described that the world reality, whether a Buddha appeared or not in the world reality is forever. We respect to the Buddha because he understood, he realized this reality, and also he preached it to the world. That is why we respect to the Buddha. But be sure, this reality doesn't belong to even him. This is the world reality. Whether a Buddha appears or not in the world, this reality is forever. And when we listening to Buddha's message, first of all, we may have clear knowledge what he explained. And that is why always we explain the knowledge is very important. That is the very important thing. Not only knowledge, according to knowledge, we have to reflect on it again and again in our day-to-day life. Sometimes some people think that we have to listen to this message when we are in the temple. When we go home, we can live as we like. We can live anyway what we like. But if we want to get a result throughout this message, not only enough that knowledge, we have to reflect on it again and again in our day-to-day life. Then we can be familiar with this knowledge. Therefore, the second step also very important, reflecting. Reflecting means, according to knowledge, we think about our body and mind. We mostly try to understand outside the things or people. But by practicing Buddha's message, we try to understand what happens to my mind and body. We always try to what happens to my mind and body. If we can understand the reality of our mind and body, we can understand our entire life. If we can understand our life, it means we can understand how we suffer. And also how do we overcome suffering. Therefore, reflection also very important. The third one is practice. How do we practice the Buddha's advice, Buddha's message? In our day-to-day life, we can practice this message. And there are both levels, The first one is practicing 3 meritorious deeds in our day-to-day life in the name of inner happiness. What are the meritorious deeds that we can do in our day-to-day life? Practicing generosity. If we can offer something to others kindly, then our mind is very pure and calm. But we should be intelligent that when we offer something to others, it should be useful for them. One day a person asked me that my friends always smoke cigarette. I am so generous that I would like to offer cigarettes to them. I asked him that if your friend wants to suicide, do you offer some poison to him? Then actually when we offer something to others, it should be useful and meaningful. Because we offer something kindly. We do every activity with kindness and wisdom or intelligence. That is very important. And the first thing is practicing generosity or dana. Buddha's language, it says dana. Dana means that offering something to others, not only physical things. If we can offer, when somebody has some problem, if we have good attention to listening it, that is also some kind of generosity. And if you can offer some message or some good book that which is very important to their life, that is also some kind of practicing generosity. And in many ways we can practice it in our day-to-day life. If your parents are with you, you can offer something to them daily. That is also some kind of meritorious deed. Why do we practice this merit in our day-to-day life? We do everything in the name of happiness. When we offer something to others, when we are generous, then it means our mind has no ill will, our mind has no greed, our mind has no jealousy. If our mind has a negative idea such as ill will, anger, desire, jealousy, it means we have no peace of mind. If we want to become the real happiness, that we have to overcome those negative ideas from our mind. When we practice this merit, it is very useful that we can improve our happiness. And the first meritorious deed is that practicing generosity or dana. The second one is the practicing sila, practicing discipline or morality. Practicing discipline. Discipline means the discipline in our speech and behavior. If we have good behavior or moral life, then nobody can criticize us because of our good behavior. Especially when we know this fact, we try to control our speech before we control our physical body. What is the reason? We are mostly criticized. We are mostly blamed because of our bad words, rubbish or gossip. When we do those negative verbal activities, we are blamed, we are criticized. Therefore, we don't like it if we have this knowledge, this understanding. And also in the society, we are honored, we are respected because of our good discipline. We were born alone, we will die alone, but we live in the society with many people. If we have good discipline in the society, we are respected. Everybody likes us if we have good discipline, especially if we have speech discipline. That is very important. If we have verbal discipline, it is a very good thing to be honored in the society. And the third one is practicing meditation. Practicing meditation means little by little, if we can focus our mind, if we can clean our mind from negative ideas, little by little, it is meditation. And in this level, it says in the primary level meditation, such as we usually practice loving kind meditation. We consider, we reflect on all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Again and again we think about that. We mostly suffer because of anger. In our day-to-day life, when we associate with others, when we work in the workplaces, we mostly suffer when we are angry. If we can overcome anger or ill will, it is very useful to overcome suffering. Therefore, that is why Buddha explained on the path of purification, on the path of liberation, at the very beginning, we have to practice loving kindness. We are mostly stressed because of anger in our day-to-day life. When we practice loving kindness little by little, what is the highest level of the result of practicing loving kindness? As soon as we look at a person, as soon as we meet a person, we consider that person as my only son or daughter. This is the highest understanding, highest result with the result of practicing loving kind meditation. That is very important. If we think other people as our only son or daughter, then we have no jealousy, we have no anger, although they have mistakes. We try to correct them, but we don't get angry, because we think them as our son or daughter. Therefore, if we have this understanding, it is very easy to overcome stress and our mental problems. And if you are friendly with people, if we can consider others like our close friends, although they have mistakes, although they have some misbehavior, we try to correct them, we advise them, we help them, but we don't get angry. When they are successful, when they succeed in their educational or professional life, we are not jealous. We have no jealousy, because we think their success as our success. We think they are suffering as our suffering. We try to overcome them from their suffering. That is why at the very beginning of the purification or liberation, on the path of liberation, that we have to practice loving kindness in our day-to-day life. Your happiness, your success, how much you have overcome stress, depends on how much you are practicing loving kindness in your day-to-day life. Sometimes it is difficult to do when you have a person who has done a lot of bad deeds for your life. Sometimes it is difficult to control your anger. But little by little, when we practice, we can understand it. And in this level, we practice loving kindness, but when we go to the next level, we think about our anger in the higher level as impermanent. You know, when we get angry with somebody, do we get angry with his body? As soon as we think somebody who has blamed you, who has disturbed you, we mostly think his or her body. But actually, after he died, his body remains. If he have got angry with his physical body, still his body is here after he died. Then if we have this understanding, we don't get angry with the physical body, because the person has not only physical body, he do everything because of his mind. If he has no mind, he has no any activities. Therefore, as soon as we look at a person, we think not only his physical body, we know the background of his life. What is the background of his life is mind. Then now we are focused on physical body. If our understanding is growing up, we know his mind over body, beyond the body. If somebody has a good complexion or good activities, you know very well that is the nature of his mind. That is why he is here. That is why he has this kind of good activities. If somebody has negative ideas or negative behavior, we know very well this is the nature of his mind. We don't get angry with his body, and also we don't get angry even his mind, because we can't catch it. It is invisible. How do we get angry with his mind? Then when we go to the higher level of understanding, we don't look at outside. In the primary level, we look at outside, mind and body. But when we go to the higher level, we know very well, as soon as you look at a person, You get some kind of idea about that person, but it is your inside. When you go to the mirror, whole mirror, when you laugh, when your face is very pleasant, you can see a very pleasant figure in the mirror. When you cry, when you get angry, then you see a bad figure in the mirror. Our life also like that. When you get angry, it means the fault is not outside. Be sure the fault or the reason is in your mind, your attitude. If you can change your attitude, whether the outside is good or bad, positive or negative, nobody can disturb your peace of mind. If somebody can disturb your peace of mind, be sure the fault is in your attitude, in your mind. Little by little we go to this level, in the second level. In this level, this is the primary level. The practice in this message, with the understanding of this knowledge, we reflect on it again and again, and also we practice it in our day-to-day life. The first thing is we practice 3 meritorious deeds: practice in generosity, practice in morality or virtue, practice in meditation. And what are the results of practicing this merit? Buddha says, practicing merit means decorating your mind. We decorate our mind by practicing merit. We do a lot of things to decorate our body, our clothes, our vehicles, our houses. We do a lot of things to decorate outside. But the important thing is that decorating your mind. If you can decorate your mind, it is more important than you do for decorating outside. Then, when we do these kind of meritorious deeds, it means your mind is very calm and quiet. You have no jealousy, no anger, no ill will, no big attachment, no ignorance. When you practice these kind of meritorious deeds in your life, because you do everything with consciousness, consciously. We do everything consciously. And also we go to the next level, the highest level of practicing Buddha's message. We have to practice only one. In the second level, don't worry, you don't have to practice a lot of things. You have to practice only one. What is that? Only wisdom or intelligence. Wisdom. We have to practice only wisdom. Before wisdom, we should have concentration or tranquility. We should try to control our mind. Mind always goes here and there. In the primary level, we try to control it. We try to keep it in the present moment as a concentrated mind. And that is why Buddhism has explained the importance of practicing tranquility meditation or samatha meditation or concentration meditation. Tranquility meditation. Tranquility meditation means we try to focus our mind with a particular object, such as breathing, loving kindness. There are many meditation techniques in Buddhism that we can use in our day-to-day life. Be sure, sometimes people think that we have no time to practice meditation. It is a misunderstanding. We should have only knowledge. By living in our day-to-day life, we can practice it like breathing. When we breathe, we can do it when we do other things. Practicing meditation also like that. This discourse, now we are going to describe also, explain that everything that we do from waking up in the morning and go to the bed. If you do everything with mindfulness, it means we have done everything with meditation. But before the meditation, before when we practice wisdom, first of all, we should have good knowledge, we have correct comprehension that what happens to our life, what is the nature of our life, what do you have in your life, what are the things that you have in your life. You have a job, you have money, you have children, you may have some kind of material things, and you may have a good job, and although we have a lot of external or internal objects that when we think something that we get experience through our senses, through our eyes, through our nose, through our physical body, we get experience through the senses. When we see something, we get some kind of experience through our eyes. That experience arises in this moment. When you see me, suddenly you get some idea. You get only the color, only figure. Then you create something in your mind. According to your attitude, according to your previous experience, you get some kind of idea about my body or me. When you listen something, when you hear something, you get only the sound in the primary level. Suddenly you get some idea in your mind. Again and again, these senses gradually change. We get only one experience through one sense, But because of ignorance, we think all things happen in the same time. While you are looking at me, you listen this one, and some bug hit you in your chair. We think everything happens in the present time, but we have only one experience at once. Because it is very fast. We think because of ignorance, everything happens in the same time. It is like, like some 6 bulbs, bulbs. There are 6 bulbs here. They suddenly flash again and again. But one time, one bulb flashes. Again it flashes and put off. It is very fast. But when it happens fast, you think all 6 bulbs are flashing every moment. Because of very fast, we think this, but it is not true. Our life also like that. Mind is very fast. Because it is very fast, we think everything happens in the same time. But we get only one experience through our one sense at once. That the nature of the experience is every moment it arises and ceases. When you think your children, you have children. When you think your job, you are there. When you think your vehicle, you are near the vehicle. But you think, you read your mind. It is not the real situation. For example, when you think your vehicle, do you think now the present vehicle that are on the way? When you think your vehicle, Just now, it is on the way. Do you think the present vehicle? No, you think your previous vehicle that you saw in the past. But you never know it. As soon as you remember your vehicle, you may think that now I think my present vehicle. When you think your children, you may think that now I think the current children. But we read our mind according to our previous experience. But for example, when you think a person who died, as soon as you think that person, your mind goes to the past and you think what he did in the past. But just now, where is it? Yeah, now he may in a mother's womb. Now he may in the heavenly realm. Now may he in the womb of an animal. Just now. When you think that person, your mind goes to the past. Because of ignorance, we suffer with this experience which happens in the past. This is the cause of suffering. This is the reason of unsatisfactoriness. When you think you do next week, for example, after this session, you will go home. When you think it, what happens to your mind? You drive your car, you see your house, you meet your children, you meet your pet, everything you imagine. But you may think that everything is visible, but now you read your previous experience. You think your previous experience and you imagine combining with the previous experience. It doesn't happen yet because it is in future. Our life is like this. If we understand this reality, we are so shy. How we suffered still now. Then if we understand this reality, little by little we try to understand this reality, what happens to our life. Then as soon as we remember something, we have awareness, now I don't go to the past, I live in the present moment, I read only my mind. When you think something which happens in future, you can imagine it, you can remember it, but your mind doesn't go there. You have comprehension that now I read my mind, imagine something which happens in future. We don't lose the beauty of the present moment. We have mostly lost the beauty of living in the present moment because of ignorance, because of delusion. The beauty of life is in the present moment because the past has ceased, the future doesn't come yet. The beauty occurs, beauty is in the present moment. Then here, by listening to this special discourse, I think you spend a lot of period here. If you want go, you can go. We continue our discussion more than 1 hour. Okay? If you like, you can be here, no problem. Okay. If you think it is useful or if you have enough period time to stay here, you can stay. We like it. And Buddha explained that the second page it says that Buddhism illustrates that one and only way for the purification of beings, Sattanang Visuddhya, and Soka Pariddavanam Samatikkamaya. This is only way for overcoming of sorrow and lamentation. and dukkha domanassanam atthangamaya. This is the only way for the destruction of pain and grief. Nyaya sadigamaya. This is the only way for gaining of knowledge. Nibbanasa satikiraya. This is the only way for the attaining or liberation of Nibbana or enlightenment or supreme bliss of liberation. What is that? That is the mindfulness. Therefore, all Buddhist doctrines can be included into mindfulness. And also, how far you have practiced happiness depends on how much you have practiced mindfulness. Mindfulness is like a best friend. We have described a lot of classes. And you know that if we have mindfulness, it means we have a best friend. We have the best friend. If we have mindfulness. If we lose mindfulness, be sure we have lost the best friend. It means when you get angry, when you are jealous, when you have ill will, when you have big attachment, when you quarreling with others, at that moment, although you have knowledge, although you are well educated, at that moment you have no mindfulness. If you have mindfulness, defilement or negative ideas, negative attitudes have no chance to come to your mind and disturb your peace of mind. What is the nature of the mindfulness? Mindfulness means the awareness of our mind and body. Every moment we try to do everything with mindfulness. It can be divided into four. Mindfulness can be divided into four. One of them is Kayanupassana, the contemplation of body. What happens to our body and what is the content of our life, of our body. As soon as we look at a physical body, we think only one thing, but there are many things which are included in the same body. If we can separate them in our mind, we can separate hair and teeth, skin, blood, skeleton. When suddenly if we are clever to separate them in our mind, not truly, then suddenly we can see the reality of the physical body. Buddha said one day, if you have big attachment with a person who is in 16 years or 18 years, girl or boy or lady or gentleman, that suddenly think is the nature of his physical body. Little by little he is growing up, and little by little he is going to old age, and one day he will die, and after he dies, then his body is going to the earth, and it goes to the, it becomes to the skeleton, and one day it becomes the dust. If you are clever to understand suddenly, as soon as you look at a person, and also in other side you can rewind it up to the womb. This person in this level you can think up to womb, mother's womb, and in this level to skeleton. If you have this understanding, we have no big attachment. When defilements origin our mind, then if we can understand in various ways, but we live with people, we don't go away from the society, but These are the techniques that will protect our mind. The important thing that we have our mind. We should protect our mind from negative ideas, negative attitudes. That is why we have to use these techniques. Don't think that this is going away from the reality. Actually, this is the reality. Now we live in a dream. When we think this situation, this is the reality, but now the dream has become the reality. The reality has gone to the dream. And little by little we try to live in the reality. And also there are many techniques that we do. We practice the contemplation of body. On the other hand, we reflect on the body posture. There are 4 postures that we have: standing, sitting, walking, lying down. When we have these behaviors, we know very well. When you are sitting, you know very well, now I am sitting. When you are standing, you know very well, now I am standing. When you walking, you know, now I am walking. When you lying down, you know very well, now I am lying down. And also there are other ways that we can reflect on our body. That there are 4 things in our body. There are 4 fundamental elements: earth element, fire element, and water element, and air, wind element. These are the 4 elements which contain in our body. This is the nature of the life, our physical body. On the other hand, when we do any activity with our physical body, we know very well, now I do these things. When you talk something, when you eat something, when you drive, whatever we do everything with consciousness, with mindfulness, with our physical body. You know, if we have this comprehension, we know very well this is not a permanent or certain or particular person or being. This is only a process. This is only a process with the mind. Now, when we meet a person, we think there is a certain person, particular person. Now, if we have this understanding, we have higher knowledge that this is only a process, and we don't get a person as a certain because of this idea. This is the first level that we are going to comprehend of our life, about our life. This is the first level of mindfulness, the contemplation of body. Not only our body, but also other bodies too. On the other hand, after we die, what happens to our body little by little? It goes to skeleton and finally it becomes the dust. Even whether we like or not, whether we believe or not, at least after 100 years, all of us, all of our physical body have become the dust. Have you thought it? Our hair, our tooth, everything, our teeth, our skin, our blood, everything is in the earth. But we will have another life according to our mental situation. Just now also, although we use a physical body, we live in mind. Although we have a physical body, we mostly live in our mind. When you think something according to your previous experience, you are thinking something. Always we are thinking something. Your children, your properties, your money, whatever you have, you think them in the past or future. But be sure, little by little, by practicing this advice, we are going to the reality. We are going to the real understanding. And we use these techniques focusing the final destination. What is the destination that we have to reach? Living in the present moment, ceasing, rising and ceasing of our mind. If we have this understanding, we have overcome our physical body. If we have overcome our physical body, we don't become the sicknesses. We don't become the old age. We don't become the death. Our body goes to that situation, but our mental situation doesn't go to that situation. And the second one is the contemplation of feelings. When we have positive or negative feelings through our senses, feelings means when you see something, when you hear something, when you smell something, when we get some experience through our senses, if we have positive or negative feelings, we know very well, now I have good or bad feelings. For example, when you look at some beautiful picture or flower, you are happy. Now you know very well, now I am happy. When you look at some person whom you don't like, then you know very well, now my mind is not good. We have clear comprehension what happens to our mind. What happens to feelings. You know very well what kind of feelings now you have, positive or negative, whether positive, negative or neutral. This is one of the techniques that we develop our mindfulness. We mostly live in the neutral feelings. And when we are in neutral feelings, we know very well, now I live in neutral feelings. And the next one, the contemplation of mind, Chittanupassana. Page number 3, the contemplation of mind. Mind means, yes?
Just to clarify, so when you say neutral feelings, like you achieve that through mindfulness?
Yes, we have this understanding through practicing mindfulness. These are the ways how we practice mindfulness. First step is when we use the physical things, not only our physical body. When we use the physical things, we know very well what is the nature of the physical things, what is the content of the physical things, external or internal. And when we think about feelings, we know very well what kind of feelings now I feel. We have comprehension.
So you could have good feeling or bad feeling.
We don't control them.
Neutral feeling.
We don't control them.
Have a bad or good feeling.
We are the observers. We do only observation. We don't control them. We observe them. What kind of feelings now come to my mind? Through the senses. Good or bad or neutral. In the Vedanupassana, in the level of Vedanupassana, we don't go to control them. We consider, we reflect the real situation. When we have good feelings, you know very well, now I have good feelings. When you have negative feelings through your senses, you know very well, now I have negative feelings. We are only the observers. That we don't control them, but we have real comprehension. What kind of feelings just now I have? Do you want to explain it again?
No.
Here. The next one is the comprehension of mind. It means we have real understanding what kind of situation now we have in our mind. There are both things, kind of the contemplation of mind and the contemplation of mind objects. It is very close. But first one, the contemplation of mind is like water. There are several waters, you know, ocean water, natural water, coconut water. The nature of our mind is like water. First of all, we consider the nature of the water like our mind. And the next one, the contemplation of mental objects. Some things come to the water, which is content of water. Objects also like that. Always we think, what is the nature of my mind just now? The current situation of mind. When here it has explained, here the meditator considers his own mind as it is, such as whether it is lustful or not, hated or not, deluded or undeluded, concentrated or contracted or distracted, developed or undeveloped, surfaced or unsurfaced, concentrated or unconcentrated, liberated or unliberated. These are the steps of mind. Then any kind of steps that now I have awareness. We think about the mental situation. On the other hand, the contemplation of mental objects, that is also very important. We have awareness about the objects which come to our mind, negative or positive, good or bad. When we have real observation, you know, for example, when somebody says you, are you angry now? Then we are shy. Yes, we go away from shy. When you eat something greedily, when somebody says you are so greedy, you are so shy. Because you have the comprehension. Here also like that. Nobody criticizes you, nobody points out you, but you also yourself point out what kind of ideas just now you have. Then little by little we go forward through negative feelings to positive feelings, positive objects. Then as much as we practice these 4 steps of mindfulness, the contemplation of body, the contemplation of feelings, the contemplation of mind, the contemplation of mental objects, mind objects. If we have awareness with these 4 things, it means we have no interval. From waking up in the morning, go to bed, we do everything with comprehension, with mindfulness. Then you don't worry when others don't talk with you. You are not fed up when others don't laugh with you. You are so happy when others neglect you. Now you are happy when you are with your friends and relatives. Now you are so happy when others appreciate you. With this understanding, we go away. Neglecting of others is your happiness. because the happiness creates in your mind. We mostly search happiness from outside because of emptiness of our life. When we are empty, when we have emptiness with understanding of life, we are going away, we are going outside searching happiness. But the happiness is full in your house, in your body. If you have this understanding, you try to practice happiness in your day-to-day life throughout your body, throughout your life. Then it doesn't sound that you don't do your duties or responsibilities. Actually, you do better than you do just now after this experience. But you have a clear understanding the real happiness origins from your inside. We can get some kind of happiness from outside which is very impermanent. It can be changed anytime. It can be destroyed by other person. But the happiness that you create by yourself, nobody can disturb this. Nobody can steal it. Because that is yours. That is your inside. Then the happiness, that is why Buddhism says, with this understanding at the final level, at the bottom level, we live in the present moment, ceasing and arising with every experience. This is our life. As soon as you think something as your previous experience, you have full awareness, now I read my mind. You can imagine, you can remember anything, what happens to your life. You know, when we growing up with understanding, practicing mindfulness, there were some persons in Buddha's period who could read their previous lives, more than millions of lives. They could do it. But you know, although they say their previous life, they were not unhappy, they were not worried, because they did it consciously with mindfulness. They had an idea when they explained it, they knew very well they only read in their mind. Now we have no that ability. As soon as you remember something, as soon as you remember your children, if they are good, you are happy. If they quarrel, if they have misbehavior, you get angry because you live in the past. And if your workplace is good, you are happy when you are going to your workplace next day, tomorrow. But if that place is unpleasant, as soon as you think tomorrow your workplace, it is your situation. Then if we have this understanding, we live in the present moment and also we live overcoming suffering. This is the Buddha's message. For that, as much as you have this knowledge, you try to develop your mindfulness. For the mindfulness, you may have good discipline in your speech and behavior, and also not only that discipline, but you have reflecting again and again about this knowledge, and also day by day you should go forward with knowledge. There are many techniques that we can reach this position. We should be rich in knowledge. Knowledge is wealth. Buddhism also says it, Sutta Dana. Dana means wealth. You know, Buddha has explained this in very ancient time, that here now also people, they say that knowledge is wealth. What you learn, what you earn. Here Buddha says, what you learn, what you have earned as your happiness. Therefore knowledge is very important. For the knowledge, you get this knowledge because of your good qualities. Already you have good human values. That is why you have this message. Especially now you have a special quality. That is why you are here. You know what is that quality? That quality is gratitude. Gratitude means it is a very meaningful doctrine in Buddhism that sometimes we think it is very common. But we do everything. If we do any good deeds in our life, it depends on gratitude. At least if you wash your vehicle, that is also gratitude. And if you clean your house, that is also gratitude. If you take care of your parents, that is also gratitude. All good qualities and also all of your mental culture or spiritual development depends on how much you have practiced gratitude. Therefore, that is very important. Day by day, we should go forward with these qualities. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask. Here we were discussing about the four mindfulness. This is a very special discourse in Buddhism. There are many discourses in Buddhism. One of them is that we discuss here. It focuses on mindfulness. Mindfulness is one of the main doctrines in Buddhism. And if we practice this mindfulness, simultaneously we practice all good qualities in the same time. That is very important. Day by day, we are on the path of purification. It means we are path of getting rid of suffering. On the other hand, we are on the path of happiness. Okay, thank you for your listening. I am happy you are here. Okay, now we are going to transfer these merits to our departed relatives. That is our tradition. After we do any kind of meritorious deed, we transfer these merits to our departed relatives. That is our ancient tradition. We believe that when we have positive energy, we can transfer it to our relatives who departed. Now that is the time that we can do it. And now you think your departed beloved relatives, and may they receive these merits and also may they attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's recite the special stanza in Pali language. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these merits, may guardian deities and angels also receive these merits. By receiving these merits, may they keep their eye on you too. May they attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to guardian deities and angels too. Ākāsaṭṭhā ca bhummaṭṭhā devānāgā mahindikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā cirang rakkantu sāsanam. Ākāsaṭṭhā ca bhummaṭṭhā devānāgā mahindikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā cirang rakkantu desanam. Ākāsaṭṭhā ca bhummaṭṭhā devānāgā mahindikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā cirang rakkantu tvaṃ sadā. By the power of all this spiritual energy, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May your all dreams meet with success. Finally, may they attain final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkam pantaca niddukkha, bhayam pantaca nidbhayam, sokam pantaca nissoka, hanto sambe pipanino. May the Triple Gem bless you. Thank you for your coming.